Alright, so troubleshooting the wiper motor here. Not the wiper motor. Wiper motor works because it goes like this. The squirter. So I have the key turned twice. I'm pushing this on this truck. You push this. And if you listen, you hear a relay over there kicking. So relay's working, and the relay basically takes a low voltage signal and allows 12 volts to carry over to whatever it's supporting. In this case, it's the wiper fluid sucker system. So squirters here, there are two of them, and I've had this all apart. This got all apart a few times. So anyway, there's a cable, not a cable, that's wrong, a little tube that goes between the two of these, tees off, and comes down, and it just happens to be right here. You can see there. And fluid just gets sucked in there and squirts out these squirters up here. That's how this works. But if you follow this all the way down, it's under here. And I'm pretty sure I have changed this before. The pump. That pumps. But I'm hearing the relay over there. You know, so I know the relay is kicking, so that's not the problem. Also, you can see there's fluid in there. So we're going to leave you right here, close to here, and you listen to hear if the pump that's sitting underneath here works or not. So let me get this stand over here. Alright, so listen carefully. You should hear this. I'm going to open this so it helps. Can't be in two places at once. Getting it. Click, 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 click. I'm not hearing anything over here. Are you? I didn't hear anything. So I'm going to need to take this thing out. And there's a pump underneath there, and I know that I've replaced this before. So maybe there's just like contacts that aren't good. We'll test it out and see, and I'll show you as I go through it. Gonna have to come back to it though. Gotta go do something else. Got the wipers done, but I definitely want to, while we're on the topic, make sure the whole system's working the way it should. Let's see what we can do. So I'll be back. Take this all off. For you, it'll be like almost instant. For me, it might be a couple hours. All right. So it's been soaking. Nice and easy. Penetration. Juice. Great. I always forget to do that. What was that? So this goes to I get you a better view. I'll get you in here nice and tight with this different camera. So, windshield washer fluid. There's a motor that goes in here and gets retained. Positive, negative. And then this is the cold fill for the radiator. So I left that connected here. So the radiator will siphon back and forth between here and here if it needs it sometimes. So cold fill, radiator coolant only. You could throw some in here if you're filling it cold. You don't want to open this up or whatever the case may be. But that's what that's for. Connected in there. But this is the windshield washer pump, basically. And try to grab that. And this right here is the connector. All right, so on this connector, I'm going to connect in my volt meter, amp meter, and push the button and see if I get 12 volts to here, because this should be 12 volts. So, gonna get that rigged up here, ready to go. Have that taped up. Tape might play a role here too. Tape roll, get it? Oh, dad jokes. Alright. Watch that. So let's see if that worked. Alright. So, not sure if you saw that. I had to relocate it so I can see from the cab. Put it on the side. Anyway, I got 11.34, so it's definitely getting voltage. Not 12 volts, but, it's got voltage going to that motor. So what I'm going to do next is try to put some... connect directly from the battery over to this thing and just kind of touch it from both sides. That eliminates the relays and all that kind of stuff. Just go from the battery here, see if this thing kicks off. So I'm going to get some wire and try to set that up. I might actually run this truck a little bit so the battery gets charged too. So I'll be back. Alright, so I have these set up. Negative, positive, and then I have this going over to alligator clip to here. Not a big draw, not a big deal. I'm just going directly over. The last time I have this connected to one of the prongs and I'm going to touch the other one to see what happens. Last time I had it the reverse way. I see it going down. I think. Huh. Pretty sure that went down, but nothing came out of there. So that means there might be disconnected up in there in the cowl. If there's liquid running in the cowl, I will know that. Crap. Okay. But motor seems to work. So maybe I'll loosen this line up, try to blow it out, and go from there. Alright, I'm going to disconnect this and this. Alright. Isolate it from the relay and everything else. So motor works. Relay, we know we had 11.45 volts or something like that earlier. Battery's a little bit low, that could be why. But could also not be pushing enough. But also, if I just put the motor on here, it's not making it up there to there or there. So I have to figure that out. And the path is just basically through here, up over T squared, T in there. Probably the juice is just flowing in there somewhere. But we'll find out. Okay, so that is the windshield washer fluid coming from here, draining down, which confirms what I didn't want to confirm, which is there's a disconnection in the cowl here to these squirters. This might be the 4th time I've had to do this over the years. So I need to take a bunch of screws out, try to get in there. This tube goes up in there, and I'm probably going to be able to pull it directly out, which is a problem. Yep. See, that should be connected to something. There's the problem. But now I got to take all this stuff apart, open this up, reconnect all this. All right, so now that I know my worst fear has occurred, I have to take all that stuff apart up there and fix it. I can put this back together down here. So I'm going to throw some dielectric grease, just a little bit in each of these, just to help that connection. And going to plug this back in. Alright, and just to verify, now that I have this thing right here, not connected to anything, I can see what happens. So, yes. So I just plugged back in, tested the motor directly. We hear the relay, we tested that. We have like 11 point something volts to this when the relay is triggered. So everything seems fine in the system. Now I have this plugged back in. I put some dielectric grease on it just to help the connection. Doesn't get all messed up. I'm going to go in and I'm going to push the button to test it all the way through here. This should squirt out if everything works, and then I know all I have to do is tear that off apart and connect everything. Okay. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Almost squirted myself with it. It's, yeah, good. So. Definitely working the way it should. I wanted to make sure of that before I put this all back together. Yeah. So, good news, I don't need any parts. Bad news, well, at least I don't think so. Bad news is I have to take that all apart and reconnect everything. But this is good to go back in. After troubleshooting, put that in there. Make sure my connections are good. And just, let's do this. Put that there so I didn't lose it. What's in there? What's in there? And just do this. Do it this way. So this is on the outside because it doesn't matter. Shouldn't matter. This wasn't even here before, so this is how this was attached. Just put it on the outside. Done. Yeah. loose, but that's just what it is. Doesn't really matter. It's held up. Because it's thin. Alright. And then this one, turn this back up. Any day in the universal tool. So there's not feel like walking back to get what it should be. Okay, good. Alright, so that's back together. Now I gotta get into that. I'm not gonna do that right now. But for you, it'll probably seem like I just did it right now. Show you what this looks like. So there are screws in here like this, and you gotta get in those. I am on the hood of the truck because yeah, they're not fun to get in. Well, you also have the antenna. It should be disconnected, and yeah. Anyway, wanted to show you that real quick. Those are the screws on the top. Alright, I am going to do that on both of these wipers. Take this off, and then I'll have access to pull this out without the wiper blade getting in the way. So at least now you're going to know why it's important to know that. Hopefully you never have to do it, but it's who knew it would come into play so soon. Alright, so I'm going to do that real quick. So let's see if I can do this with one hand. So I'm going to pull this up. It's going to be easy because I just did it. So as I pull that up, I release the tension. And it's got this little thing here. Pull that out. Put this back, and that'll hold that in place. This should just come right off. There we go. You know, so in case you haven't had the pleasure of taking this off on an F350 or other Ford truck, it is fun because, you know, you have to have the hood open to get those screws out, and then you have to get those screws out, and then you have to close the hood so that you can get on top of it to get the screws you can't reach, and then you take the wipers off, but you can't do with the hood up, so the hood's down, and then you get here, and then you can't take it out because the hood's down. So now we have to put the hood back up to be able to try to maneuver this out of here to a point that I can get access to it. But you can see it's should be pretty free. The nice thing about this is there is access to it. It's just not the best. Newer cars probably way worse. So anyway, gonna do that right now. All right, so you remember that fun I was just talking about? So I have this here loosened. I go to open the hood, and guess what's happening? The hood is binding up against this now. Okay. All right, there we go. But now this should be free, and you can see. And oh yeah, you can't pick it up because the hood's in the way. So yeah, yep. So we're just gonna kind of see how those wipers being off helps this. That's the inside there. Oh, the inside there. You can kind of see the tray, and you can see where this would be a problem as far as getting it out. So you have to come forward and up, and the hood's in the way, obviously. Because, yes, that's how this works. So I am going to, with one hand, because my other camera is not working right now, try to get this to a point where I can get my room. Kind of thinking I could get it out of here. Just up enough on this side that I can get it over there. I don't know. Okay. And then there's the wiper. That's actually part of the wiper mechanism. What I don't see is any of the hoses. And right here, oh, there we go. I see it now. Right here is where the hose needs to go. See that right there? Right there. Gotta plug that in there so I can get to it. Let's see how true that is. All right, so you can see I got it, hopefully. I got it to right where it needs to go right there. But this thing has come off more than once. So I'm thinking I might put a little bit of silicone on the outside of that guy to help hold it in. That being said, if I put it together and there's something else wrong, okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I decided I'm gonna push it in, make sure it works, and then see if I can't get something in there to hold it in place. A little bit of silicone on the outside or whatever the case may be. In fact, I'm gonna pull this thing back out of here. And you can see that's the part that goes in. I'm gonna clean this off a little bit. So whatever I do put on will actually hold up. But that's the part that goes in. For whatever reason, it keeps coming back out. Or it has come back out. Those could be plugged. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna push it back in and see what happens. If not, then I could blow out those lines and get into more stuff, but hopefully that's all I gotta do. But I wanna clean this off so I can dab a little bit of silicone or something on there, help hold it in place. That's the theory. Went about halfway down, put a little bit of that on, wiped the access off just enough to hopefully secure it in place when it's there. And I'm going to try to not get it all over the place and get it routed in there into that. Hard to see, but not gonna be able to film it because you won't see anything anyway, but I'll show you after. Magic. It's back together. Didn't think you needed to see screwing all that stuff back in. There was a gasket-ish thing here that was all crumbling apart and falling apart. I just deleted on that, got rid of it. But all the screws are back in, except for the two that didn't exist up here before. I'm sure I lost those last time. Go ahead and yeah, get these wipers back on. That to go there. Nope. Back it. That should be good. Looks pretty good. All right. This one looks about right. Push that. Okay. Looks good there. That one's maybe a little off. That's definitely too high. Yep. And that's when you forget that when you turn the key on, it resets like that. So, I should have done that first. Lessons learned. And there's that. But at least you see how to screw up. And why it's important. This is what not to do, people. This is what not to do. Should have remembered that. I forgot. So now this is fighting me over here. It's wanting to go past center. There we go. Oof. Alright. So that was done. Alright. So before we reset those, we're going to do this. Okay. We're going to let them cycle. Now they're at the resting place. Goodness gracious. Well, now you know why it's important to do that. Learn from my mistakes. Okay, so there's that one. Should be good. I'm glad I had a recording so you could see what not to do. There we go. Now. Alright, so this thing when it wipes is not getting right in here, which is just, not a big deal since it's the driver's side and it's right in the line of sight of everything. Okay, that's fine. What I'm going to do is just try to tweak this bar a little bit to put more pressure in the middle, hoping that works because like these wipers don't have any. There's not arms over here or any of that stuff. It just goes by this. And since it's the center, it should be able to just put more pressure here and I think press that against the window better. Not sure. We're going to try it. And what I'm going to do is just use this. Just kind of turn it. To make this a little bit steeper angle. That's it. So right there where that angle is. Just gonna do that. Try to do that with one hand. Just trying to bend it toward just a tweak. And then we'll see how that works. Alright, let's see if did anything. Squirters work. On like the third swipe it's getting it now. So I'm gonna do that a little bit more. Actually gonna pull this off and just tweak it a little bit. Actually that. See what happens. I like using this because it's a little bit more precise. And it'll actually, at that bend, it'll be, so if you use a tool like this, see where that bend already is? You're just going to turn that bend a little bit more. If you use it by hand, this thing can have like, 3 or 4 different like waves in it and whatever else may be. So I'm just twisting it. Gonna twist it again, see if that helps. All right, so turn it just a little bit more again. By using the tool, it'll stay at that break or at that bend. Just turning that bend a little bit more. So I think that'll do it. Yep, it's got that spot now. So, all right, done.